Get LeBron some help, because these goofballs ain't going to do. They sorry. They suck. I'm selling my booth right now. I got a booth for the next 2 years, 3 years. This year, y'all can have it. $5 for the booth to the Laker games. $5 is the price.
It's Uncle Snoop, see? That's your guy.
Man.
He said his booth for $5.
I'm just going to tell y'all old school. Snoop gave up his suite in Staples Center for a nickel bag. Because that's what it, $5, nickel bag, Uncle Snoop. Yeah. I'm with you, bro.
Right,
and, man, they blew Snoop's high, man. Snoop was, man, he went to the game, they blew his high.
He had to get focused.
Oh, man, they snapped all that.
He told no lies there. And goofballs is maybe the perfect way to describe some of the Lakers players Saturday night against the Suns.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous. I don't blame him for being frustrated.
Man, I'm so glad we didn't move the show to L.A. Man, I was like, LeBron's going to L.A., we're moving the show. Thank God, man, we got smart bosses and everything.
Yeah.
As a Southerner,
how's your significant other feel about us not moving the show to L.A.?
No, she ain't no fans of them.
we ain't gonna talk about that. I just like that he called them sorry. All right, it's time now for some stories to start your morning. Sponsored by Gillette Clear Gel. Over the weekend, Andre Iguodala says he doesn't think his teammate Steph Curry gets the respect he deserves. Put some respect on it. He also said Steph is the second best point guard of all time. Now, Nick, does your list match up with Iggy's?
How you know Nick got a list?
I mean, somebody told me that. Somebody told me that, Chris.
Right.
The producer told me.
Right.
I agree with Iggy that Steph is underrated.
True.
And that Steph's impact on the sport of basketball, not just the NBA, has the reverberations are felt. What Draymond said, when you go to high school games, you see guys trying to be Steph that can't be Steph. All that's true. He's not the second best point guard of all time. Right now, he's fourth or fifth, but he is climbing. And could he become the second best point guard of all time behind only Magic? Absolutely he could. And he's probably pacing towards that, but he's not that quite yet.
You know, to me, Nick, you know I'm very, very fond of Isaiah Thomas.
Yes.
Magic Johnson, very, very fond of him. Brother happened to play with both of them. If you're going to talk about point guards all time, another guy that's underrated, Oscar Robinson. Right. So for me, those are the four people that would be in this conversation. So for me, I'm not going to make a list, but Steph is underrated. Well, I do agree with you on that.
I will make the list. Steph, that is your top.
Harden. Boston now has lost 5 of their last 6 games, and the road's not going to look any better anytime soon. Tomorrow they begin a 4-game road trip against the Warriors, Kings, Lakers, and Clippers. Nick Wright, is there any chance that the Celtics can turn around this season?
I mean, there's a chance, but it is incredibly unlikely, and there is no evidence they will. Kyrie missed a game on January 23rd. From that moment forward, the Celtics have played in 17 games. 6 of them he hadn't played, they're 6-0. 11 of them he has played, they're 3-8. And there are some ugly losses in those 8 losses. They were getting mollywopped by the Rockets yesterday. They got it within 7 in the fourth quarter. Coincidentally or not, they went on that run with Kyrie watching from the bench. Looked a lot like the Celtics team last year. Jaylen Brown is swallowing people up at midcourt.
Yep.
Marcus Smart's getting deflections, flying around everywhere, and they weren't able to get over the hump, which is not surprising because when you're down 28 minutes into the second half, you're not supposed to come back from that.
The energy you use in getting back, you typically don't have any extra to be able to finish them off.
And you saw there were a few times where they could have cut it to 4 or 5 if they just get a defensive rebound. And Nene is good on the glass. PJ Tucker and the Rockets held him off. But for the Celtics, this is a systemic issue right now. They do not look anything like what the talent on the team says it should be. Jason Tatum yesterday had missed open shot after missed open shot, then started press and started to take bad shots. Terry Rozier gets fouled on a 3, goes to the line, misses all 3 free throws. Like, the Celtics team, by any way you look at it right now, is the 9th or 10th best team in the NBA. That's all they are. And in the NBA, the 9th or 10th best team never goes on a run in the postseason, and that's the only way to salvage the season.
Yeah, the only way to salvage the season is they win a series. They can't lose. We know they're going to be in the playoffs, but they can't lose in that first round. And where they're sitting at right now, those first round matchups are going to be unbelievable. If the Celtics were in the situation where they were not playing well and they had the same record, but say, for instance, if they was Houston and Harden was hurt and we knew he was going to come back, we'd be like, maybe, okay, when he comes back, they'll be able to add. When LeBron, when he was in Cleveland, not that he was hurt, but we had the type of confidence that LeBron has dominated the East. The Celtics don't have that. This is a team that does not like each other. Now, they have a nice roster, and if we didn't see last year's playoffs, we wouldn't be having as much hope for them right now. Gordon Hayward is not nearly the player. Now, Kyrie individually, he's had a very good season, one of the best of his career, if not the best. But as a team, they don't play well together. There's less ball movement. There's more bad shots. Everyone needs to get their shots now, so now guys will take a shot that's not, well, I get the ball back, so let me shoot the ball now. Right. So their shot selection has not been good this year. This team, they're still a top 10 defensive team. But to me, Kyrie Irving is a big question, and Brad Stevens. Where's that great coach? Where's that great coach, one of the best in the league? I heard people on TV mention it, not only on this show, other shows. Hey, man, this guy won the top 5. Get out my face with that mess. Because right now, if you were a top 5 coach, you would see your thumbprint on this team by doing something. What has he done? He's done nothing.
We had one of the guys that actually works security in our office building ask me, I thought, a really interesting question when we were walking over a couple days ago. And he said,
where's your badge?
Okay, I always leave my badge. That's neither here nor there. But after I was like, can you buzz me in real quick? He asked me, he said, why did it work when Isaiah Thomas was there and not when Kyrie was there? Because that was a ball-centric or one-player-centric offense. And I thought about that a lot this week because I think it's a really interesting point because they made the conference finals 2 years ago when IT was a one-man offense unto himself. The guys around Isaiah Thomas that year were they knew their role. Jay Crowder knew. Yep. Avery Bradley knew. Marcus Smart at that point in his career knew. Jaylen Brown, rookie, knew. Listen, IT is going to be the offense. We're going to have to get rebounds, find a way to get wide open shots and play tough defense. It's different when the guys around Kyrie are Jason Tatum, who thinks he's going to be a star. Jaylen Brown waiting on his first real contract. Terry Rozier waiting on his first real contract. It's harder for those guys to play selfless basketball when they know Kyrie's going to suck up, even if it's in a positive way, 25% of the possessions.
It's hard for people to buy in like that and sacrifice their own game unless they like you. And that's what we saw with IT a couple years ago. That's when America fell in love with IT. That's when the Celtics fell in love. And then you had all these veteran players. Man, I'm going to buy in because this guy and his story, that's why he was in the MVP conversation. He had a sensational season, but his teammates liked him. And when your teammates like you, it's easier for them to do. You know something? I don't need that shot. You know something? I'll guard this guy. I will take this charge. I will do the small things, and the Celtics don't have that now.
There's also, I was going to say, I can definitely see your point, Chris, about them liking IT more. It also just seems like there's a misalignment of interest going on with the Celtics right now.
Absolutely
Versus an alignment that I heard Nick speaking about when IT was there.
Yeah, I try to mentor guys all the time, and a lot of it has to do with dating. I tell them, man, don't be trying to look at that next girl. Put everything you got into this one.
That's right.
Even though she's got some faults and everything, because you got faults yourself.
You're right.
Man, Kyrie Irving is looking over at New York, side eye. He's looking at her.
And Terry Rozier's looking at his contract. And Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, one other thing.
Are looking at their future.
Right, their future. One other thing. I have not bought into the idea that, and most people have, though, that the Lakers' season got ruined when the young guys heard they might be traded for Anthony Davis. A lot of people, though, think that was a fracturing point for them. If it was a fracturing point for the Lakers, how much did that same effect have on the kids in Boston? Who, even if they weren't by name, how many people, credible reports, Mannix and others said, everyone's on the table? Yeah, there's only 12 guys on a roster. There's only 4 that have real trade value for the Celtics. Jaylen Brown knows that's him. Jason Tatum knows that's him. So if it affected one team, the timeline of the Celtics